Hello out there, Worlds Collide race fans. I am One Free Fits. We're here to call a race tonight. I have Eric the Swift with me in the booth. We're broadcasting from the Blackjack, traveling around the world to follow the action. Eric, what do we have in store for tonight? Are we running our usual Ultros League? We got a little bit of a different flavor going on.
So we have a pretty interesting flavor for tonight. So we have the usual stuff, but we also have an extra requirement. So original flag sets somewhat. We have the requirements for 6 characters and 9 espers, but we also have another condition for 4 dragons to get Kefka unlocked. And that skip is even spicier too, because all it is just kill 14 bosses. We also have some additional side objectives should we choose to do them. If we want an Illumina, we can perform at an opera. If we win a Coliseum match, we get plus 40 to Vigor and Auto Berserk, so that'll be very interesting to see if anyone gets to do that. Killing 6 dragons gives you plus 20 to Magic. And all statues are shuffled in Kefka's tower, so the statues are going to be in the statue spots, but all shuffled around. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have what we call a barter seed, where all items have the same price. And I think sell price is half. So essentially, you can trade in 2 items for any 1 item. This makes powerful things cheaper, but it makes things like Phoenix Downs like really expensive. So we're not going to see as much like consumable buying. We also have a 1% chance of hitting a monster in the box, opening any chest, which is not very high. We'll see if we see it tonight.
That'll make for a very fun looting phase at the beginning and see what they find, what they can trade in for neat items. And like you said earlier, Phoenix Downs are going to be very interesting to say the least to try to get a stock hold of.
Yeah, and additionally, a change from kind of our racing flag set, if you will. We're going to talk about scaling, and we'll probably explain it more, but it's essentially how much harder do enemies get as we make progress through the game. Normally, enemies go up by 2 levels every time we get a character, an Esper, or a dragon. With these flags, they're going to go up 3 levels every time we beat a boss, or what was the other one? Let me look. Or a dragon, which we have to fight the dragons. So that makes routing interesting because our checks or dungeons that give us item rewards, some of them don't have bosses. So completing those will not increase scaling.
And it looks like we are off, and we have a Cyan Celeste Realm start, which I believe I saw Magitech and Health. Yep. And slot for Realm as well, so that'll be very interesting party setup going on here.
I like these characters' checks. We've got some chunks. We're probably going to see Magitech fairly early just to get that activated and on. Oh, wait. Is there still the objective to unlock Magitech? It might just be...
I don't believe I saw that.
We're going to get a double check real quick. Let me go to the computer. Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop. Click on the link.
And it looks like we found our first monster in a box with Bloom Pyres.
Okay, we do. So that's going to be a priority, probably. If we complete all of the Magitech Factory, we will unlock magic. Now, Bloom Pyres have like 5 hit points, maybe 10. But they're incredibly resistant to all damage types. However, this H-bomb that Jex has slotted himself into is going to still do 2 damage. We can only have damage piercing things really do anything to them. But they're worth a decent amount of experience, and I feel like he can get through this fight.
Good experience, but the trade-off is you got to worry about having your party members zombified, which unfortunately Cyan got hit with.
Yeah, that is tough. I will also be curious as our runners kind of usually in the beginning of a siege, we're looking for stuff and we want to buy stuff. In this case, it's a little bit different where like in a normal flag set, if we found like a tonic that's worth 50 gold, then we're like, meh. But in this, that's worth half an Illumina potentially. So we get excited about like those kind of throwaway items a little bit more in this sort of flag set. I think we saw a Thunder Shield was the reward for the basement check.
Yeah, Thunder Shield there, and both Christopher Worken and Leaf found a cat hood in the basement of South Figaro, so that's an automatic equip for Realm.
Yeah, getting more money in a barter seed is huge. Potential or finding a money chest. Like if we find 20k in one of these chests, we can buy a lot of good stuff. I did double check, and the no free characters or espers flag is on, and so an egg in the South Figaro basement on Christopher Worken's screen. But the no free characters or espers means only checks where we have to pay money or fight some sort of boss or encounters will reward us with either a character or an esper. So places like Celeste's basement, which we can just run in and get, that's always just going to give a high tier item.
And the same will go for Cyan's Mount Zozo check, and I believe
That one is
a few
paid
others.
because you have to pay 1,000 gold
Oh, it
to
is.
buy the Rust Aid, and it's kind of a walk to get it. So I think that's why, even though like logically, I think it would be easy to be like, that's free. It's actually in the paid pool. If I'm wrong, someone in chat will tell me, but I'm about 90% sure on that.
Huh, I did not know that. Well, thinking about it, it does make sense. As we do find Katana Soul in World of Balance Narsh Monster in a Box check. So getting this offering here is going to be pretty good if we can find something to pair it with, such as Fixed Dice, Illumina, or sorry, not Illumina, Atma Weapon, or a Valiant Knife.
Yeah, the offering lets us swing 4 times in a turn at the cost of each of those swings, doing less damage. Normally, the extra animation time isn't worth it, but with the weapons that have special damage calculations, like our Atma Weapon, Valiant Knife, Fixed Dice, their extra damage comes like later in the order of operations for like the algorithm, and that's why we love to pair those together.
It looks like we're getting some sort of grind fights from Christopher Worken's side.
Yeah, I see a question in chat around kind of like what's the average or best time. I think for our like standard racing flag set, the record is in the like 58-minute mark, I believe. I think last I saw, Golden Shocker was the possessor of it. You have to really start getting lucky to get those like low, like sub 70-minute times. And it can also vary depending on what flag set that we're playing. Like you could play a 100% seed where you had to get all characters, espers and dragons, and that would probably take 3.5 or 4 hours.
Yeah, the average sea time, at least for like a standard Ultras League flag set, is usually between the 120 to 130 mark. So it's not too terribly bad to do. And I did see Leaf did enter Doma Siege and found the Dream Twins, but backed out of it. So I don't know if he's doing that to heal up, or if he plans on going somewhere else.
Yeah, they're a tough 3 to deal with only 3 characters. We do have Magitech, so we can hit the elemental weaknesses of 2 of them, but they're very counter heavy, and so like realm slots will kind of bite us. We are getting Opera House, so we're going to get our holy sword. Forces of the West have fell. Oh, my hero. I'm not singing the whole thing, not for free, but maybe for one of my next runs, I'll have an incentive.
That's exclusive content. That's one of those pay to play features. It looks like the twin fights are going along smoothly as Curly is down. So we just have the other 2 stooges left to go.
Yeah, the back one is vulnerable to fire, but they can also be attacked with like instant death. If left alive, Larry runs. I think. Now he might not have a chance to.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna look like it.
Yeah. But we saw there they can even counter as their like death counter, so luckily they were only doing the tier 1 magics. And I think Leaf made a good call there to know that they needed to be topped off before, and like properly equipped, because that's the Stooges are not to be taken casually.
And we did get a stray for our troubles, which holds Drain and Float, which is,
No
they're
bonuses.
spells. Yeah, no bonuses either. That's pretty hard to see on an Esper.
Yeah, I will be curious to see if anyone is gonna do the Coliseum move. That's definitely like a viable approach to this flag set. Would be get initial stuff, buy like peace rings for people I want to be casters, and then get big swords, because Berserk does damage. It boosts physical damage, and so if we pair that with a powerful weapon, an Atlas armlet, stacking damage in RPGs gets us to big numbers pretty fast. It is risky because we lose control of characters, and there are certain bosses, like the final one, that it gets kind of scary. But yeah, because we can see all the rewards in the Coliseum, if I didn't find any good power, it might be calling me.
Especially too if like you were to find something, like say among the top high tier items, say like an Illumina or a Minerva or any of that, it would be tempting to go for it in the Coliseum, but also have to take on the whole well, I lost control of my characters, I can't do anything with that. Now they're auto berserking, but they have the power, which is something again would be very interesting to see, as we see a magic power +2 bonus on Torado.
Put that on Celeste. Go to Magitech. And we don't really have to do anything with Celeste for the rest of the seed. That's where having an ability like Magitech, which we can unlock the Tech Missile, which is very fast, powerful damage, makes me be like, I don't know if I'm gonna go do the opera, because I think we're pretty good with what we got right now.
And we do have a
crisscrossing here, but I think Leaf is really first out of the gates in terms of hitting checks and doing progress here.
Yeah, because I do know Leaf took down the Stooges and did the cave for realms check, so those 2 are taken care of, and it looks like he's going to be doing Jador House here as well, so that'll be his third check, and Christopher Workin's taking on Opera House. So we'll see what's going to be going on here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. They just were, I mean, they were here anyway to do the opera, so you might as well take care of the disruption while you're here and put that big sword to immediate use, probably. We haven't seen if Cyan can use it, I don't think yet.
I mean, there is a potential, but not sure if there's going to be something for Cyan to be using, or if we just want to have it on a Celestial Realm.
We've got a bunch of level magics. The good news is the scaling is still level 3. The bad news is this is a better fight. The level magics don't give us experience, which we definitely want. Is that a realm with the Illumina?
I think that's what I saw, yeah. Yeah, that's Realm with Illumina.
Nice.
Murder Child's gonna murder.
Yeah, with like an Illumina and Magitech, that's 2 characters already that have in-game offense capabilities. And so I'd be feeling pretty confident about, okay, let's step on the gas a bit and do checks until we feel like, you know, maybe we're starting to run into a little bit of a wall.
Yeah, especially with Realm's high magic power naturally anyways. So that Illumina makes it a really good fit.
Yeah, because her procs will do a lot more damage. We're seeing an encounter here on Leaf's side. This looks like this is a pretty good experience fight. The Fossil Fangs are undead, ouch. But we probably don't have Revivifies because of the barter situation.
It looks like Jack's work is including Thamasa finding a flame shield, a flame saber, and a fire knuckle. So that is quite the unfortunate red herring for one of the checks later.
Yeah, definitely. And like one of the things that I think I appreciate about racing this game is like there's a lot of different styles that lead to going fast, and we'll see some runners try to get out of the gates fast, you know, as early as possible. That's kind of what Leaf is giving right now. There's also, you can equally kind of go fast by just saying I'm gonna do my 1 round of like looting and shopping, and then I'm not touching shops for like the rest of the time. We see a Mog here, so
that'll be very good to check Narsh. Mog with tools. I mean, that's not too terribly bad. If you have a drill, there's your offense for that.
yeah, drill is nice. Air anchor can be very useful. I had a seed recently where that was my early grind offense, was just using air anchor on things. That's all I had, but it works.
And we do get a Crusader from
Bolt 3 bio.
Stamina +1's not too bad.
I do, yeah, if I wasn't gonna go to Magitech for a while, I think I would start Celeste learning a tier 3 spell, but if I was gonna go there, she's not gonna need to cast any spells, so that might be better suited on someone else. But it's kind of like a lot of this stuff is kind of like 50-50, or, and then importantly, being decisive is usually the best move, as opposed to when I'm up here in the booth, I can be like, what's optimal, you know, but in the racing seat, it's kind of like, what's fast.
And it looks like Leaf is looking for Zozo. Yep, there it is. So we'll see a Mount Zozo Cyan check here in a minute. Jex's work is also doing Opera House, so he will be getting that Illumina here pretty soon. And Christopher Workin got his Torado, so this is going to be a somewhat tight, close seed, but with that Mog, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more blown wide open.
Oh, that Torado has Berserk as well. That's very nice to learn early.
Good to have that on hand in case some name brand number 24 shows up.
I also saw, did Cyan have natural magic? Because they know Warp. They know some random spells that I don't think we found on Espers, and having Warp is nice in a barter seed that we're not having to spend like a lot of money on Warp stones.
He might, because I don't think anybody put any espers on him to learn anything.
Nah, he's just kind of hanging out right now. He might cast Health if we're in like a pinch, but some good hats.
Leave it to a samurai to be a healer.
Yeah, on Quest for Workin's screen, we saw Magus hats, we saw circlets, increasing our magic power by any means we can. Increases our damage output, because I believe magic is squared in the like damage calculation. I think it's level times magic squared, and then like the spell power factors in. I'm not like the formula expert necessarily, but so like increasing by 5 or 7 can have a big increase on our damage, especially when we like are adding on, you know, a 25% damage boost from earrings on top of the damage calculation.
And same for like with the hero ring as well.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing
Yeah,
our first dragon. We got white dragon. They can be a pain because they can open with like 2 straight attacks. But they're also one of the lower hit point dragons. So I think Lee's got the tools to take him down. Yeah.
Yep, there he goes. Jexworks is just now getting his Illumina. Also putting on our realm, good choice.
We got a cat hood user in Mog too.
And we have an Atma weapon off that dragon, so looks like Celeste is going to have a really good job with this seed.
Yeah, the offense is abundant. There was an egg found in the South Figaro basement. We love to pair that with our Atma user. If we could find an offering.
Well,
Ooh,
we did find a katana soul in World of Balance.
That's a pretty
chest, so
common monster in the box to peek if we're Yeah, I see in chat unscaled dragons are very rough. Because they're all like 55 plus, which we rarely. Oh,
and there's that second offering.
Interesting.
So we have a lot of physical offense as well as magical offense, so this will be a very interesting seed to watch the runners take on what they're going to have their characters do.
Yeah, with all these big swords, I am rooting for one of our runners to go to the Coliseum and get that auto berserk going on, but like, it's so risky. Ooh, that's pretty expensive. 41k for an Esper. Especially with the barter seed going on. Atlas armlet's nice.
Atlas armlets are always a good find. Anything to help get that physical boost up is not too bad.
Alright, we're about to be at the second Magitech check here for Quest for Workin. Like French vanilla? This is like vanilla Jace.
This is pseudo vanilla, yeah.
Hey everyone, jumping in real quick. So if you might notice that Christopher Workin's stream timer is a bit ahead. There is a bit, I can tell. It's like a 9-second difference between the other two. I was trying to adjust it on the back end and haven't been able to get it to work. So you're seeing about 9 seconds into the future on his particular stream. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. That'll be good for us to know when we get to like the end, you know. But yeah, that number 128 went down pretty quick. Everyone's got power, so the winner of this race is going to be who really decides to send it for like the next, we'll say like 50 minutes, which can be challenging to maintain that sort of like aggressive pace. These are terrible encounters. More level magics we're seeing.
Terrible encounters and terrible espers. We did get a zone seek from Magitech 2 check, and it only had cure and break, and there was a stat bonus, but I think it was... I know it was a +1, but I don't remember which one it was.
We probably will get a peek here.
And we do have a Coliseum play on Jexworks' side. Let's see if he goes for it. Oh, there it is. If he gets this...
I had a suspicion that Jex would. They are a known fan of the like Berserk strats, and it's legit. Like it requires a lot more carefulness with like Kefka's Tower and Final Kefka, but it can save time like over the course of a seed because we're just like boosting everyone that's hitting stuff's damage, and that +40 vigor is also gonna bump it up there too. Yeah, they're cleaning this place out for weapons. Picking up a sniper.
It's not a bad idea to do, because if you're gonna go for an all offense auto berserk strat, you're gonna want to make sure you're equipped with the best of the best. Now you've got Minervas. I did see an Excal in there, red jackets. So we have a lot of good stuff in here that we can clear out and load up for our final fight later on.
Mm-hmm. Having a wide open Coliseum, the trap is knowing when is enough. It can be very easy to be like, oh man, it's like, oh, there's mega elixirs, I need that. Like, oh, you know, we don't see an offering in here. That's be one of the things, but we know those are out. We know, but Jex doesn't, that they're out in the wild. I bet this is their last one. They'll pick up this Minerva. But Realm is angry.
I think Realm is upgraded from Murder Child to Slaughter Demon.
Oh, we're getting that Excal too. Ooh, zombies.
No, we are not. That is rough. Oh, that's something you don't like to see. And meanwhile, on Christopher Workin's side, we have Vargas and the Pooh Bears on the third boss fight in Magitech 3. And Leaf is taking on his tentacle fight in Magitech 1, so they are on the same check, just one's just about done and the other one is just now starting, so... And it looks like Mog is also able to wear a Minerva, so that is some very good defense.
Sick armor going on. Oh, Mog can also use an Illumina.
That is just... That is too good.
Maneater offering. Celeste's got the ribbon, so she'll be, I think, the only person that's not berserked on Jex's side. They're gonna go 3 Zerkers. That's bold, but fun to watch.
And it does make sense to do, so that way you have at least one party member free to do any of the healing that might be necessary.
Yeah, you're healing, you're weight tricking if you got a proc going on. I mean, and Celeste will have missiles eventually. Questifer is about to get those missiles online. Yeah, a true baller would go 4 Zerkers and get to just watch all the battles happen. That would be the pinnacle, but it would also have a high rate of heartbreak, I think.
I mean, it would be a really fun spectator seed to play. And he did get that shoot on Magitech 3, but we don't know what that is yet. He hasn't taken a quick look. We should find out relatively soon.
At the dome. Oh yeah, this is the Stooges. They're gonna be a little bit more punchy. They might be up. They're definitely up to tier 2 magics.
Oh, they will be up to no good.
And with that Pearl Wind, we'll kind of get an idea of how many hit points they have. Okay, they got about 6k apiece.
Yeah, they're pretty beefy.
I mean, we do have health, so it's pretty easy to kind of keep up with 4k missiles. Very nice.
That is...
That's a lot. That's the benefits of Mage Power +2 from the very beginning. Yeah, I think K-Work down there is gonna get through this just fine. Leaf is about to get there. They're following a little bit of where Work is already gone. We're seeing some crisscrossing. I feel like the real divergence here is Jax. They're really loading up on goodies from shops and Coliseum.
Yeah, they are going all the way with this, and it is interesting to see. You know, you're gonna have 3 characters that are auto berserked and one as a mitigator, healer, weight tricker. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how he takes this party, especially into the final fight. And with that mod character we did get at Opera House, we do have potentially 3 more checks. You know, we have Lone Wolf, we have Kefka at Narsh, which I know isn't a mod check, but it's more of an incentive to do it. And Moogle Defense, so that is 2 to 3 more checks that are now more openable.
Yeah, we haven't seen those mod checks yet, or we're about to. At least
We're
see.
also
Oh,
gonna
there's
get
the
that
monster in the box. Bloom Pyres. That's not that scary. There are definitely some, because this pulls the like percent monster in the boxes will pull from, I think, just the overall monster pool. So we could see like a Doom Dragon in a box, for instance, but just a Bloom Pyre.
We could also see a Gigantos, but I'm rooting for it.
Yeah, I see Drinks Glue in the chat saying that we have multi-summon is on, which is a good reminder. That means we can summon Espers multiple times per battle or across multiple tiers of the final battle. And having Fenrir is going to make that a lot safer when we can just cast it on every tier to avoid the punches of the first tier. 10 hits is like no problem. And then we can use it again for our calmness protection. But we'll talk about Final Kefka a little bit later.
Yeah, he'll be coming in soon, so you don't have to worry about that.
I think I saw Locke is in the Yeti spot.
I missed the Yeti spot myself, so I will take your word for it.
But yeah, we don't have a Yeti, but that's just something to file away for may be relevant later. Jack's heading themselves into the Magitech factory.
And there's a human Yeti down here at Kefka and Arsh.
Saban has a lot of, I mean, they have 5 checks. They're all pretty bunched together except for Collapsing House. Because characters tend to lead to more characters, it would be tempting to go basically do taking the Minerva over the Mystery.
Could have been.
It could be an Esper.
Could be an Esper, could be another Minerva, could be an Illumina, could be something very good.
Yeah, now we can go get it in the World of Ruin. It's a bit of a walk, so it's not like we can never get that, but it is off the table for now, and therefore we don't know what it is. We're seeing our first fight with the Mad team here. Unfortunately, tentacles are not human, and so the Man-Eater's not going to do bonus damage. A lot of the Kefka parts are human, at least in terms of their monster class, I guess. So that will pay off later, way down the line.
So yeah, the Man-Eater is a good investment, especially early on in the seed. You might not get a lot of human bosses, but like you said earlier, Final Kefka will have, a lot of human-esque attacks.
Oh yeah. Lone Wolf is a free check, and therefore it was only going to be a high tier item on the other side. That one's confusing because you have to walk a lot and do a cutscene, so it feels like that's not free, but it is considered free for the flag's judgment.
I mean, time isn't free, so we did have Ultros. Looked like it was Ultros 1 at Kefka at Narsh, and that Saban saw he had 47 vigor, but I didn't see what his ability was.
They have natural jump, which would normally be like a interesting, but I might boot them over Cyan, but at the same time, it's like I think that's their only cure magic that we got going on right now. So, and it's our source of warping out of places. Now, warp is on an Esper too. It's on Fenrir. If people have gotten that, and Fire 3, that was a Fenrir, very good Esper.
It is among the top tier Espers for many a good reason.
But yeah, normally with like a natural jumper. Now, Saban doesn't have naturally the best jump equipment. We'd be like relying on him being able to use like a spear or a decent sword. But the natural jump means that we can put like a dragon horn and like a Atlas armlet or a gauntlet, and they'll do a ton of damage with levels.
So pretty interesting to see over here on Leaf's side. It looks like he's going to be doing Doma Dream.
Yeah, I like doing the chain checks back to back. Doing Magitech first to get Celeste like fully online, and then diving into here. It's 2 bosses for 3 progression, and because our scaling is based on bosses, we're gonna get 3 shots at items for the price of only raising everything's levels by 6.
It's even sweetening that Kefka skip too, because again, Kefka skip is only 14 bosses, so this is a good way to pad those numbers up.
Yeah, and Magitech was 4, and so that's definitely 14. We might have to go like a little bit out of our way to get. It can kind of depend on what the path is through the seed as well, but taking these like checks that have multiple bosses is definitely going to help where normally we might avoid some of those like dense time commitment checks. I do love the dream though. It's just kind of a fun dungeon.
And as for Leaf, we got a Tritox after Tunnel Armor done came and went. And as for Christopher Walken here, we have the Magimaster we have at home at Moogle Defense. So that is... They're
Yeah,
just...
Magimaster Junior. The most dangerous thing they can do, and they love to do this, is muddle your offering user, but it didn't happen this time.
They got off pretty late on that one.
Because they can open with, it's called Overflow, and if it happens to like your fixed dice offering user, it's just so sad to watch your party get diced to death.
And there is a Siren for Christopher Walken, so that is also Tier 2's magic taken care of.
Yeah, we want that mute. They get far more annoying without it. Yeah, this is interesting because I feel like Leaf was like first out of the gate, and they've done a good job of really pushing checks. But they haven't found another character yet, and because we have the ghost and the dream, we know that these next two are pretty much guaranteed to be espers. Got some pro dog content going on. Oh, the flag facts. So flag facts is being a clown right now, obviously, right? Like we invited them to race on Restream, and instead they are.
And they're not even
putting
racing.
up some
Yeah,
notes,
what's going
right?
on?
Not even. Yeah, it's we had to DQ them. So, no matter what happens, flag facts will have lost this race.
Well, they can keep getting forfeited every time they want to keep being restreamed on Wednesdays. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but we gave them a seed. They said, "Yeah, we'll run it this time. And now we have pictures of dogs. I mean, they want to try to prove that they got that dog in them. This ain't the way to do it.
Yeah, do that on the track. But Ghost Train appeared. They did do Evil too. That's why Celeste is angry. Unlike Jax's party members who are angry from winning in the Coliseum, but they managed to get through that fight. No problem. No blitz, so we can't get our suplex on.
Restreamer here, just to let you know that flag facts actually forfeited about half an hour ago.
Oh, well then, I guess they can stick around. I mean, if they want to prove they got that dog in them.
They tried to do Kefka's Tower right away, and it didn't go well for them.
They didn't even meet the requirements. And we do have a Carbuncle and Palador for Leaf from Doma Dream, so that is, I believe, 2 or 3 progressions in one check, so that is very massive to have.
Yeah, they're Esper loaded, but at this point they're like, man, I want. Where's my characters? Like, and the answer is Opera House and Kefka and Narsh so far.
And that Palador did have a strength +2, so that is going right on Celeste for that Atmo weapon.
Yeah, real generous offense and so far that we've seen, and like I think in a different seed we'd be seeing maybe a little bit more struggles because the scaling is pretty aggressive, and where we're going to see the true test is going to be the tower. We know the statues are there, and we have to get 6 + 9 is 15 + 4. So it depends on how many bosses we fight, but we're likely going to be in the high 40s to 50s in terms of enemy levels. and statues do real bad stuff. Like Poltergeist will Ultima at that high of a level scaling. Goddess will like garner you. So uh, those are going to require like forethought and preparation. Like I hope our runners saw that Shuffled Statues was on, because it's one of those flags that if you didn't see it, it is kind of unfortunate, because it does kind of require planning around like how am I going to beat, you know, 3 of the top bosses in the game.
Well, a good way to make sure that you can have protection for the bosses is getting a Golem Esper, which Christopher Workin did do at Imperial Camp. And another thing that the runners are going to have to pay attention for and look out for is making sure they get 4 dragons, because that's also on the table. Now, 2 of them are at Kefka's Tower in lanes 2 and 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which will help Jetworks, as he did Opera House Dragon and got a Flame Shield for his troubles. So that is 1 dragon for him, I believe, as well as a dragon for Leaf.
Now this dragon for Jax does not count, because it's just a regular enemy.
I mean, it says dragon. I mean,
But you know, I would argue, yeah, exactly. Like, like, well, that's 1.
It is a dragon, you know.
Yeah, and in terms of dragon availability, without characters, we have the Ice Dragon spot in World of Ruin Narsh. We have the Opera House Dragon, and then the 2 in the tower. I'm trying to remember if without lock can we even get in the Phoenix Cave. And then we can do, oh, I forgot Fanatic's Tower. So we have 5 available to us, because you don't need Strago to go take the Fanatic's Tower boss. You do need magic, or a Berserk's Party will make that really easy for you too.
Yeah, either or for the Fanatic's Tower. It's also a good way to peek it, even though you don't have Strago, but at least that way you know you won't have to do Fanatic's Tower. And I think Phoenix Cave? I want to say, I might be wrong on this. I think you can still do the dragon even if you don't have luck in your party.
Yeah,
you
just I think
can't
it's one
get
of
the
those.
reward,
Exactly, you can't get the reward. That's kind of a long trip to go fight a dragon. That would be like,
yeah,
if the requirement was 6, we would probably be seeing it, but there are arguably 5 faster ones to go get. And then we started with Cyan, which added the Zozo one.
And speaking of Strago, we do find him at the Barren Cliffs. So Fanatic's Tower Dragon's looking pretty good right about now.
GB Rain, 42 magic. Benched.
Yeah, not the best in the world, but it'll do.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like, had we got them earlier, maybe, you know, we'd roll with them, but I feel like our runners are probably pretty comfortable with their parties. Leaf checking out the collapsing house. And then they remembered that no free checks are on, and so...
But he did buy that Fenrir for about almost 2,000 GP, so he might want to have to go back in there to do it later? No? Okay.
Well, he's pretty Esper heavy right now, so I could understand being like, I can come back here and get this later.
Yeah, that's true. Because it was Fenrir at for that, so
But
hope he goes back to get it for that multicast.
I'm in the neighborhood, so I might as well go do a dragon since it's a requirement.
It looks like Jetworks and Christopher Workin are both doing Mount Zozo.
Yeah, they're pretty close to one another. Like Jex is like a screen or two. He's 2 screens behind.
So they will be taking on the dragon, hopefully simultaneously, which will be very fun to watch. Actually, I think we're about to have 3 dragon fights on screen, if I'm not mistaken.
Dragons everywhere.
Who's the fairest in the lair?
Yes, I think Quest for working wisely, using game knowledge and knowing that you can mute White Dragon. Since they pretty much only do spell stuff, then we're fine. Jax is just going to use their angry party to hit the problem away. And even though they were later to the fight starting, they beat White Dragon first. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is Berserk characters just go the frame that their turn is like ready. And so those small times over the course of a lot of fights can add up. And we get that ammo weapon for Jax, who is like, oh, who can use it? Who can use it? No one I want to use it.
I believe Leaf will be getting his flame shield here. Yep, there it is.
And so an offering was sending letters to Miranda the whole time.
I kept wondering why there was 4 letters being received at once. But all said the same thing. It was weird.
I'm seeing the Schwanson chat saying the Mount Zozo is also a free check. Even though you have to pay to get in, I thought that's what made it not free. Because it requires gold and like walking a bunch.
Especially gold. And there's a boss fight in it that's optional. I guess Mount Zozo is pseudo
Now we
free.
changed that. Okay.
We are getting a peek here in Phantom Train, and we do find a Setzer, a dancing Setzer no less. So if we happen to find any fixed dice, that'll be his prerogative in this seed.
Can use an ammo weapon.
That's just as good.
We got offerings floating around. Switch Celeste over to being a caster. Egg up Setzer.
And it looks like Jetworks is in World of Ruin Narsh, going to be taking on the Ice Dragon spot and the Tri-Touch as well right after.
More dragons going down.
You love to see it.
That was a double check on our dragon counts here. That should be 2 for Jax. They've done. Did they do Opera House 2 yet? There's been a lot of dragons being killed on different screens, so I've kind of lost track a little bit.
I believe Jetworks did Opera House.
So
I want to say I've seen Opera House 3 times.
Math.
And yeah, there is that math check.
Mathing.
And we failed the math check for Celeste, the only one who could do commands. So it is up to a berserked and angry-filled party to take vengeance.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, but we've got Illumina, we've got Cyan. Looks like they're horn jumping.
And we did get a Genji glove, not only from the Red Dragon, but wow. So we also have a Genji glove and a fixed dice in the collapsing house. So that is and an economizer. This collapsing house is loaded.
So outside, yeah, Leaf had a lot of down party members. They must have had a rough grind, or the ghost fight must have been tough. I missed that. Everyone's
I
got one.
missed it as well, but
It's gonna come down to Angry Cyan jumping. Mm-mm.
is he able to pull it off?
I think that meteor does it. Oh
Nope.
no, weak meteor.
We get a Ragnarok for collapsing house as well, so that is a
That'll do
very
it for
loaded save and check.
that Doomgaze fight. I mean, they got pretty unfortunate with their one controllable character going down. Got a question about ability scaling. We didn't really talk about that.
Ooh.
It is random, and so what
Oh,
that means is
Jetworks
that
hasn't saved in a
bosses
while.
do not have predictable elemental attacks.
Do you remember Jetworks' pathing after Mount Zozo? Did he go straight to World of Ruin Narsh?
I believe so.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's not
it
that
is.
far behind.
Yeah, it's always tough because sometimes in a seed, when you have this much power, it's like, do I need to save at every opportunity? We're feeling pretty good about what we have going on, and then like, you know, Doomgaze will ruin your day.
Looks like Gogo is lost here at Fanatic's Tower, but I want to say Christopher Workin's only here for the dragon
Ooh.
and the Minerva.
Yeah, I would tend to agree because since checks are not the criteria for the skip, there's only one boss here, and and Christopher Walken doesn't need characters anymore. And Gogo would only have one check, you know, to open up on the board anyway. So I think we are gonna see a sill of a dragon, and then we got some dragons in chat. Obviously, these dragons, I don't know what their deal is, and honestly, they're kind of just doing their own thing. But
I just don't think they like the ABCs.
we
To be
got
honest with you.
for some reason, Kefka has used them as some sort of like Horcrux to prevent us from getting into Kefka's tower. That's my explanation, I guess, for why we gotta hunt some dragons. But yeah, blue dragon here. If you have a status on you, they'll try to steal it. Which, if you're getting that status from a relic, it doesn't work. And so that will kind of cause them to do stuff that doesn't hurt us. Also weak to bolt. I guess normally they would do water attacks, but as we mentioned with the random elements, we kind of don't know. We got Leaf checking their boss count. They're at 11.
So 3 more bosses and they have skip available. And they will be taking on another one here at Daryl's Tomb, should they choose to keep it.
Daryl's Tomb, yep, classic. It confuses me too, because you walk up to go into Daryl's Tomb, but then you have to go down on the next screen.
Yeah, that gets me all the time.
It's like one of those that of like, if I'm not paying, that's a sign I'm not paying. Like for me, I'm not paying full attention, and I need to lock it in a little bit more. But you know, like an hour is a long time to be running around and perfectly inputting all the time. So we're gonna see stuff like that from time to time, and it's totally okay.
Christopher Workin did take down the red dragon here at Fanatic's Tower and is going back down, so we will not be seeing Gogo in the future.
That's a no-go for Christopher Walken there.
That's a no-go for Gogo. Gogo, more like go home.
Yeah, I mean they could mimic a tech missile. It's again where if Quasifer didn't already have 6 characters, they'd probably take that just to get another character. But I don't think they would be coming into the party. They're gonna go into Dream, which we know is Esper riddled. And so I'm expecting them to come out of here and probably enter the tower to get their last 2 dragons. Potentially they could. Well, I wonder what their boss count is. There might be like a skip play on the table too.
Yeah, because that seems very viable. If they're at 11 bosses going into Dream, then this will set them. Well, no, they'd have to be at 12.
Because they'll pick up 2 in here.
Yeah.
Ragnarok sleeps here. Was that the Esper or the Item?
Not
I think it was
sure.
the Esper, because I think Leaf was at 8 and now they're at 9. So I'm
Yeah, so that would be the Esper.
confirming Esper. That's the trolliest Esper to have in Daryl's tomb. Leaf heading up Imperial Camp, which I believe is an Esper.
Just taking a quick look, Quest for Working is at 11 bosses.
So they'll
Not
come out
including...
with 13.
No, because it looks like their 11th boss was the Tunnel Armor in Dream.
Oh, I gotta remember the time difference too. That's okay. So yeah, they'll come out at 12. Is there 2? Well, you can fight Toilet Atma for one of them.
Yeah, because Toilet Atma will count. And there's also... I didn't think of what else he may or may not have done.
Like a fast one that you can get. Like, has anyone? Well, he doesn't have Sabin, does he? He got, I think, a different character along the way.
I think Working has Sabin, yeah.
Like Baron Falls is a quick one to jump into and fight a boss.
No, he did do Baron Falls and he did get a Strago, so that he could
okay.
he could do Ebbett's Rock and get that one down pretty fast.
Ebbett's Rock. Mount Colts is not that. I mean, it's kind of just walking.
It is a walk heavy check, yeah.
Like, I think the alternative is like, this is what we would do if we were not feeling confident about our ability to get past all the statues in like one-on-one fights. And if we're 2 bosses away, we can like load up the middle lane and clear like that out, and then use the skips to like warp out and warp back in and fight the remaining 2 statues 2-on-2. And I think in our last like event, we saw a lot of that. It was, I think, in the Colosseum. No, there was just flags. We had a lot of shuffle statues, and so we might see something like that. But at the same time, if I felt like I've got Magitech Celis, we've got like Atma weapons floating around, we've got Illuminas, you know, it's kind of like we're level like 30, 36, 40. That's a little bit low, but I think it's doable. But it's kind of one of those interesting judgment calls that Mobley's is 2 bosses. I don't think we have a Terra.
We do not
right now.
It looks like Leaf is finishing his Baron Fall, so he'll be getting his Strago here in just a second. Quest for Work Inside got a confused Mog with the Proc Pearl.
Yeah, Evil 2 be doing it. Yeah, he was just being savage. But luckily, we were able to get through that pretty fast. The train goes toot, and some people get slowed down, some people get angry, and some people just get really confused.
I know I'm always in a state of confusion when I hear toot toot. Like,
And that's like a regular one we're talking about. I don't even know what an evil toot sounds like.
so would that be like a regular one, but just backwards?
It could be backwards. I feel like it's like maybe a little distorted.
Toot toot.
All right, yeah. Christopher Walken is first to go mode. Technically, they still have to go fight another dragon. If they haven't done the one up here, then they don't need to do any in the tower. But they
Yeah,
might
so
just be
this will
getting the
be.
free heal. Nope, they're going.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think this will be dragon number 4 for working here.
Yeah, that'll get them their unlock. Ooh, we're gonna see what the other Mog reward was. Minerva or
An
experience egg.
experience egg. Wow. I mean, that
So
is.
second egg.
Yeah, that is a very good relic to have.
We're gonna get that Sabin. Yeah, I would say the state of the race. It felt like Leaf got out to an early lead. Jax was really investing time in shops and the Coliseum. They've embraced the auto berserk very hard. Our other two kind of found the power along the way and have not gone to the Coliseum, so they have fully controllable parties. And I think that kind of explains the gap right now between Jackson, Leaf, and Christopher. It's kind of a matter of will that extra prep, lead Jax to be able to get through the statues in Kefka's Tower faster than the time that lost at the beginning. It's always that sort of like gamble a little bit of how fast do we go in the beginning and how much might it slow us down if we didn't, if we miss something that we might need later. Who knows?
And we also do know that we saw Jexworks and Christopher Walken take on the Opera House. Or perform in the Opera, sorry, whereas Leaf didn't. So he does have that little bit of edge in time, but he doesn't have that edge in power.
We saw another math check, and Cyan did not pass.
Did not get
but
to Pasco, is not collecting $200.
This Doomgaze fight, we don't have only Berserk party members available, so I think we're going to see Doomgaze, especially with that proc, go down. Tech missiles are slapping for nearly max damage. Fallen one.
Ooh.
That random element scaling, it's going to make even the statue fights really wild. Because the things I was talking about, of like Poltergeist doing Ultima, I mean, potentially they all can. If they get, not an elemental in their random ability set. Even a boss like Tunnel Armor can do really bad stuff to our party with that flag in particular. So I think we're in for an interesting finish. That's usually how these have to fight statues at around level 50 races end up going. Is it's really going to come down to like who can get through the tower fights. And then usually Kefka kind of, because the thing about enemies being higher level is that our party gets more experience and tends to end up at higher levels by the final Kefka fight. So I imagine we're going to see some fast fights there.
It does look like Leaf is taking a look at the Coliseum, so we'll see if he's gonna go for the all Berserk strats as well, or if he just wants to peek what's here. Jetworks is doing his Imperial camp, so he'll be getting his check here soon. And it looks like Leaf is also going to commit to full Berserk strats.
Yeah, I think again, like a lot of their offense is physical. We can like have the less be controllable. He's got a peace ring on his casters. Double Atma offering.
That is just a lot of power for Setzer to have.
I mean, there's definitely, we know there's Minervas for stuff. There's some good stuff, but it's again that like the trap of the Coliseum. It's easy to spend a lot of time.
It's
Pulling
almost designed to
items
keep you there forever.
that you know, it's really like, do I want that or do I need? And I think Leaf wisely landing on, nah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, but those Minervas though. And a
I feel
Pearl
like there's
Rod I saw.
Minerva's found like along the way too.
Yeah, but why have
Some like
5 Minerva
elemental
when...
shields. Well, yeah, we need more. It would be really if there were like Illuminas in there. That's what it would be. Like, oh, Illuminas and Genji gloves. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes.
This seed ain't complete until we're doing 10 Minervas. It looks
Yeah, that
like
was
Leaf
actually
is
the
going
secret
to...
condition.
Leaf
Going
is going on into the Kafka's Tower, not taking the skip, which is not a bad idea because we want to get Setzer's levels up as high as possible. Going to be offloading his party to lane 3.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think they might full clear with that third party, the middle lane, and then warp out because they'll probably hit skip fighting those 3 spots, and then take on the other 2-on-2, which is definitely, it's like the higher guarantee of success play. We would really have to have, honestly, the Minervas on everyone and like power overwhelming to try the one-on-one fights in particular, especially because they have auto berserk now, and so 2 of their party members can only hit stuff.
Especially with the Atma weapons and other goodies they have found. I think Christopher Workin is also going to be going into his Kefka Tower. He's got the levels up there. He can just say screw it and go in anyways.
Oh, they have skip already. Now we can't skip in and walk backwards to get one of the dragons if we don't have all 4 that we need.
I think he did get his 4 dragons.
But I think they did too, because I think
Yeah.
the last one, the Narsh one they did was 4, and then they fought Tritok, I think, for the extra boss, one of the extra bosses that they needed.
And they did do Mount Colts to get a Shiva. So that was another Esper for them.
So 14 bosses plus 4 dragons, 18 times 3. Yeah, we're at max scaling. Which is the good news is fighting these other bosses are not going to make anyone any stronger. The bad news is they're going to be as strong as they can get.
Especially this goddess here for
rough.
Christopher Workin.
Miss. Very nice. charm. That's ugly.
Yeah, that is not something you want to see come out of Goddess.
Yeah, with this drill damage, ow. He's got the Illumina too. Yeah, we're having to like. This is a bad situation. I think they're just gonna keep hitting themselves. Oh, they're gonna cast Drain on themselves. That doesn't work. Or okay, it does, but it heals you.
Yeah, drained himself and healed himself right back up.
Procking himself. Yeah, that was a rough. Yeah, Goddess is not great for anyone that we're having hit stuff. I imagine we're gonna see like a shuffle around of our teams here. Probably put Celeste over there. Just let her hurl missiles at that problem. That's kind of what we were talking about with those one-on-one statue fights. Is they can be pretty spicy. Dirt Dragon causing some damage over on Leaf's side.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is given.
They must have quaked. Well, they could do anything. Wombat. Okay.
Yeah, I did see Wombat flow through, hit Celeste down. But that is a Dirt Dragon down, so...
Dex is at 12 bosses. I mean, they're really not that far behind. They need to get a couple more, like, progression, but, like, levels-wise, they're kind of on pace, and they have much better armor, because they have all the, like, Minervas and snow mufflers and all the goodies that they won in the Coliseum.
Riding high on Cloud 9. It's like Christopher Walken is going to redo this Goddess fight. Not with Sabin and Celeste in the party. That'll be...
Oh, Rage is gross.
Oh, that's gonna be ugly.
We like it when we have it as like a dance that we can do a lot because it's not elemental, but we hate to see it against our party. And then some weird wins. Luckily that one missed. Okay, there we go.
And those quad knights take down Goddess.
Yeah, they did a very nice job of reconsidering their strategy, adjusting accordingly, and picking, you know, the best character to go in and take care of that one. But that's our first statue down.
1 down and 2 to go for Workin, and Jetworks is now also in final tower. Did not take the skip. I don't know if he had gotten it or not, but he's starting at entry.
Yeah, I think I saw when they checked their tracker that they were at 12 bosses. Which meant if they loaded up in the middle, or are they trying to do this like just normal style? We'll see. I think we loaded up a side, and we're gonna get our dragons, and we're gonna get our skip, and then come back in. But we'll see. Dataluma. I mean, normally again it would be like, you know, pushover, but with that random scaling, it's like, who knows? They might do something wild.
Wild is a possibility on the table here.
But they really did nothing.
Dataluna done came and went.
Yeah, a pretty weak Guardian boss there, but a nice breather. Oh, getting the memes. Echo screen.
That's going to be helpful for final fight.
Honestly, like probably I imagine unless our runners did like a shot before going into the tower that they're running lower on like consumables than they would normally be used to in the more standard flags.
Yeah, because I do believe I saw one. I was able to get a peek at one of the runners' inventories, and it looked like they were running a little low on Phoenix down. So that is probably something to take into consideration.
Yeah, those things we'd normally have handy, like eye drops and echo screens or remedies, we'll probably have a lot less of. Oof. This is a tough fight for Mog here. Poltergeist has incredibly high physical defense. And so it's going to kind of come down to hoping for those Pearl procs to do big damage. And Poltergeist is being an absolute troll on they know who is the threat here. We're checking to see if we have any kind of better options.
And the same for this Gold Dragon over here on Leaf's side. Starting off with, I believe it was a White Wind or Weird Wind, and then going right into Merton. So that is just absolute nastiness.
Oh, now we have Goner from Poltergeist. Yeah, this is kind of what I was a little like. This is why these shuffled statues, high scaling races, kind of always get, as a runner, pretty nerve wracking at the end, because who cast Ultima? Oh, it was Dirt Dragon.
Dirt Dragon? Wow.
Incredible. Meteo from Spicy Chicken, and Leaf did get through their dragon. So the tower bosses, they came to play. They're playing for keeps.
That is an Illumina for another one for Leaf. Or no, this would be his first one because he didn't perform in the Opera House.
Yeah. We're gonna check it. Gonna check our. Oh, because yeah, they're doing that's the dragons they needed. They might have already had the skip too. Unfortunately, yeah, Poltergeist won that one. It's gonna happen against them, especially if they're doing stuff like Goners and hyperdrives. Looks like we didn't save after the Guardian fight, but that fight wasn't. I mean, that was Dataluma.
Yeah.
They didn't really.
Not anything to worry about. Dataluma, more like Dataluma.
Yeah, I don't think Mog could equip the Atma weapon either. That would honestly be a better offense. But I think it was, yeah, who could use it? Setzer, Celeste, obviously, but she's not in this lane. We put the Flame Shield on Mog, so that I think is going to help a little bit. I don't think anyone learns Stop, so that would be our main tool to kind of
not that I saw
time.
I don't think anyone got Stop at all.
We got Leaf going into their match up against Goddess. Cyan is hitting stuff. Oh, they're both hitting stuff. Can you be love tokened if you're Berserk? We're gonna find out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a quick reset because that's not the statue we want our Berserkers going into, but they wisely saved before, and so having gained some knowledge, they can put a more appropriate party member over there. I think we're probably going to see Celeste or Realm.
It looks like Fiery Chicken is still giving Christopher working problems.
I think that they're going to give all the runners problems unless they have their like Atma offering user going up the middle, which I think for Leaf is Setzer. And someone's got 2. I think Leaf's the one that's got 2 of them. That they got Genji offering Setzer. So I think for them, they're maybe gonna get through Poltergeist, assuming Setzer doesn't get like one shot in the first turn.
So long as Cesar doesn't get wumped.
Yeah. Or like Meteor. I mean, he can still go down pretty easily. 100%. I'm just gonna check on our runner streams real quick because I think everyone is at unlock at this point.
I believe so as well.
I'll just pop. I'm sure they have their trackers up too, so we'll just double confirm check.
Hey, Restream here. I was looking at their streams earlier, and it's somewhat they're hard to tell how many dragons they have because they're using the ones that have colored in dragons instead of like the number.
Oh, okay.
Leaf definitely has 2 that I know about. Maybe if you think Leaf has done 4, then that's fine too. It's just hard to tell from the tracker. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. We shall
Leaf
see.
did
Because
4, yeah.
according to their I don't think they have auto tracking on either. But yeah, it looks like I'm gonna assume that they're good to go, and we'll find out.
Yeah, no, Leaf did
on the
do 4
switches.
dragons because he did the Fanatics Tower dragon. He did, I believe, the 2 here, and he did Opera. I want to say he did Mount Zozo dragon too, so he probably only had to do 1 here. So yeah, Leaf is at 4 dragons.
Oh wait, I guess Goddess quaked herself. Oh, someone else is quaking. Everyone is quaking. Poltergeist is countering with single target quake.
It's a quake attack unlike the magnitudes we're not used to.
Yeah, this is just a nasty fight.
I feel like just based on what the actions of each of the racers, that it's probably safe to assume they all have done at least 4 dragons. And,
For sure.
Yeah.
If we see one get bounced off the panels going to Kefka, then we'll know that they did not.
Yeah, because 3 of our runners did do the 4 dragons. Meanwhile, Flagfax did all 8 dragons, but just chose not to finish the seed. Again, I understand. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that with no characters. This is why we had to disqualify them. There were discrepancies. Oh, rough.
Yeah, I knew something was up when he was able to auto-cast Doom on everything in turn 1 and just keep getting those wipes down, so I had a feeling something was up.
Yeah, unfortunately, for Mog got stopped, and then they got knocked down, which is actually better, because then they can get him back up,
And right back down.
Poltergeist is really picking on party member 1. Meanwhile, they're getting laser sorted big time by Setzer.
The duality of seeds.
There we go. I feel like Christopher's been unlucky with not getting a lot of these Pearl procs. Oh,
and he's going to be even more unlucky with this Ultima.
I mean, even with 8 laser swords. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was a counter, so it was a single target Ultima even.
That's even worse.
That's very bad. No one can survive that sort of hit. All right, can Mog dodge a Meteo? Yes.
Yes, he did.
Sending it. Getting whumped.
But he can't dodge this whump.
Bad. Everything that like Poltergeist is doing is like non-elemental and or ignores magic defense. Like the only answer is like gonna be like win the damage battle. And I don't think anyone in this middle party can use like the Atma weapon. The drill strats would be interesting. That does pierce defense and might do more per turn. So rude though. Oh, miss. Very nice.
So something concerning I've seen on Leaf's side is he did use his last Phoenix down to revive Setzer after he got tailed. So going into Final Kefka with no Phoenix downs or no restoratives at all is a pretty scary thing to do. Because we don't know how these tiers are going to go. But on the other side, you know, tier 1, we have multicast, we have Fenrir, so we're not really going to worry about that one too much.
Ooh, Doom opening with Fallen One.
That is a rough one.
We may have life. I haven't paid like super close attention, but man. Okay, I didn't really think about the combination of level 50 statue fights and
Auto
random
Berserk.
ability scaling, and then also a lot of auto berserk going on.
And not giving us much room to breathe.
Oh, wombat counters. There's just nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, this fight is just giving Christopher Workin a run for his money. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that is like the advantage about doing that like full party in the middle is we get to fight Poltergeist with like our full powers and split up for the other two. But it's one of those where it's like you don't know that Poltergeist is in the middle until you do it. And it can be hard to want to like warp out. Especially when we've already like cashed our skip in. I like taking this other statue here because maybe there's some equipment we can move around that would help us. But please don't freeze everyone. Nice.
Yeah, that would have been bad if Freeze did get afflicted on Realm and Strago. Or maybe taking on this third statue to load up on statue number 2, the Poltergeist, which is giving him problems, and there is that Frozen. Meanwhile, Jack... No, never mind.
Okay, so they got their goddess fight, but Celeste can... Oh, goddess is, I think, a human-type enemy, so that opening Man-Eater offering did some work, and I think this will finish the job. Nope. One more hit. Who's getting whumped? Not too bad. Offering does ignore Love Token as well, so... we've been wondering for a while, there was that extra preparation by Jex at the beginning of really loading up on, like, high-tier armor, and the statue fights were where that was going to really be like the deciding factor. That being said, it's never over till it's over.
Yeah, and it looks like some of his Coliseum plays are starting to pay off in the end here because that Man-Eater he did get from the Coliseum, so having the Man-Eater offering on Goddess is what really helped him push through that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like having I think the difference between having like experienced high-powered statue fights can be like, especially like there was a lot of power to go around, and so runners were generally having no trouble with bosses. So it's kind of one of those that like you don't know how bad it is until you do these statue fights with also these random elements where you just like they're just hyper driving all the time, right? And like just casting the worst stuff on us that we can't really protect from other than like doing damage fast.
And Jack Subarak is in preparations for Final Kefka, stepped on Switch at 1:30:34, I believe. So he'll be the first one into Final Kefka. Gonna see how this full rage team goes.
Yeah, this is where things can get definitely wild. Like, I would want to have float learned so that I could make sure that I don't eat a quake counter. Like, it's just gonna be a high chance that we don't get to kill things in like the particular order that we want to mitigate kind of what they do. And so yeah, I'd be looking for like, did I learn float? Did I like, do I have, I don't think we found like life 3.
I don't think we found any other life spells other than maybe life.
Now, luckily, like, we're getting a lot of head damage in, so I don't think the quake is going to be a problem.
Yeah,
And it seems like they're not opting to really do any like instant death either. Like, wow, that's already done. The levels are high. I think I mentioned that, like, that's kind of the harder like the statue fights are because they're high level. The Kefka fight at the end is, unless we change, there's a flag to scale this fight too, which is bad for the most part, but we're gonna see some fast Kefkas, but sometimes that power overwhelming, especially with berserk characters, can get really out of hand on us fast too, particularly like this tier, going into tier 3. Like, if we eat a quarter and then something, he opens up with like Merton on tier 3, we can be in a lot of trouble. And our like utmost priority is to keep Celeste alive at like all costs too, right?
Yeah, because if she goes down, then that's pretty
we
much...
put the controller down and we hope,
Yeah.
right?
Put the controller down, grab popcorn, and hope for the best. It's really all you can do at that point. And unfortunately for Jetworks, as Realm gets muted. I don't know how he's going to be able to get Realm spells going off, but looks like he's going to have to switch her to an only physical offense.
Yeah, Spicy Chicken again. Like, they opened with Ultima and then they cast Quake, so it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, Ultima is giving Christopher Worken a very hard time.
I mean, at some point, yeah, you gotta, like, that's not a bad move to like warp out. I don't think we have like a pile of elemental shields. Like, that would be an option I would be considering, is like, what if I break everything that I have? Would that be enough? And they're gonna have to do a little bit of a long walk, but they've already beat Goddess, and so they should be able to put kind of their heavier hitters in the middle, and then do 2 against Doom. It's a good plan.
Realm went down on tier 2, and Jetworks is moving on to tier 3 without her, so...
Well, and the thing about Auto Berserk is that means like our low level, potato characters are just gonna be hitting stuff for no damage, which is gonna be bad, especially in this and the next fight.
We do have Cyan here as a backup who does have either a ribbon or a peace ring with Golem on.
Now that's thinking ahead. I imagine that might have been in preparation of like something goes wrong and somehow, I mean, I've seen it where Kefka Calmness is the same person twice and the first one knocks down their image. So I like that heads up play of like preparing a little bit for the worst, or that it might just be leftover from when Cyan was last in the party too. Let's ask checks if we get him in an interview. Already calmnessing. Well, there's tier 3.
And now we move on to tier 4 just as fast as we pass through tier 3. This is seems like Jetworks is getting his or has his party set up in a way to where he won't have to worry about too much. Sabin and Mog are doing incredible damage. Celeste does have a potential quad 9 tech missiles and Cyan's there, so he will be able to finish this fight hopefully pretty shortly, provided he doesn't run into any major speed bumps.
Is that enough to get past Fallen One? This will be enough. Yeah. So now we're charging for Goner. Jack's using runaways to not do an early attack. Very heads up move there. Okay, that's
That
Mog's
should
got
be
another
enough.
swing, and then the missile. That's gonna be the crack pow here very soon.
And there it is.
Don't even need the missile. Get the GGs for Jax in chat. They took the prepare well early approach, and I think we saw that pay big time. We have a senior behemoth here also casting Ultima. Christopher Walken's got to be real tired of seeing Ultima cast on their party already. I think they must be fighting the toilet atmo spot here. So I think, yeah, we got Jax in the booth. We'll get them to share their thoughts as our other two runners regroup and try to take down those tough statues. But yeah, Jax, welcome. GG's, congrats.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's on that one. That was a very good race. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think it was interesting to watch because out of our three runners, you definitely took a decent amount of time getting the shops, pulling out of the Coliseum. But when we saw it become statue time, all that preparation kind of really paid off overall. And so I was curious if you went in kind of knowing like I'm gonna really get my equipment right and then just kind of go from there, or kind of what were you thinking behind that approach?
I wanted to use the auto berserk in my favor, so I had to plan around that. And when I saw starting Celeste with M-Tech, I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I have to go down this route. Like, not only do I have to find a peace ring or ribbon, I have to go get M-Tech and make good use of it. Because it's, it's healing, it's solid damage, just good all-around stuff. And then because the initial plan, when I saw Realm right out of the game, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to use her for my magic end of things, and no, that was not happening. Aside from that, I needed to hunt down Atlas armlets, find one decent. Well, I knew the Illumina was going to come up. I was planning on grabbing that regardless. From doing the Opera House check. So going into the Coliseum, I was not worried. So I could hunt for whatever gear I needed to in order to make use of it. Getting a hold of the Dragon Horn nice and early, I'm just like, okay, well, we got a Berserker jump strats in play, so yeah, let's mess around with that too. So I a lot of this seed I wanted to have a lot of fun with some of the different strats that you can pull off utilizing Auto Berserk.
Yeah, definitely showing that off, and I think, like, what were your thoughts about the combination of shuffled statues, pretty much maxing out the level scaling, and the random ability scaling.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I had a very big hand in creating this flag set. I knew what I was getting into when I made this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it does have your sort of mark on it. In terms of that one in particular was like a subtle one that, we saw, and we saw bosses using weird elements, but it didn't really start to like punish anybody until those last couple of dragons and like getting into the tower, and that's when we started to see, our Ultimas, our Meteos, our Hyperdrives, people
The
getting
walls.
quaked a bunch of times.
So, Drinks Glue was the other community member that had also a big hand in the creation of this flag set. He actually had a series of base things he wanted in the flag set, and then I had kind of carte blanche with the rest of it. One of the things that Drinks Glue wanted to put in for this was max level 50 on enemies. So with that in mind, I knew we were going to see Ultima's Fallen Ones and horrible things happening to us late game. But I also set up the flags with the scaling. If you notice, it was bosses and dragons times 3. So early game, if you played your cards right, early game was going to be really easy. And then as you beat bosses, things are just going to start cranking up. So I knew that was going to happen.
And did you kind of plan from the beginning to like do the like clear the middle of the tower and then take the two sides, or did that sort of emerge just based on what characters and what ability? Well, you were rocking 3 auto berserk too, so that's kind of always spicy to have just only berserkers against one of the statues.
So with having 14 quantity boss skip, and knowing that I had to fight statues, that was absolutely the play. Shoving my party down the center path, and then checking out what was on the sides. I mean, like, I did go into Kefka's Tower with only 12 bosses beat, so I didn't have much of a choice unless I did a couple extra bosses outside the tower, which I didn't feel like doing. But getting skip inside the tower is one of the plays, so you can maximize your levels going down the center path, and then you split up your party at the end. Spicy Chicken being on the center path was just a blessing, because I had the full party. I picked up the extra Illumina so I could put the Genji glove to good use. So that was a little bit of luck with how the center worked out. If Spicy Chicken was on one of the sides, it would have definitely been if, say, Doom was in the center, that would have changed things a bit. Not sure how, but it definitely would have changed things.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of the other runners kind of get stuck with like not optimal party members, like an Illumina user, and they were just throwing out so much offense. We also saw Doom open with like Fallen One in one of the Doom fights too, so it was kind of like, yeah, with the statues, there's always some luck of like, I hope I picked the right people and like the right ones.
Yeah,
with, love token on the table and the various other things that can go on.
I mean, like, aside from my Doomgaze fight, I guess I got pretty lucky with this seed, with how things treated me. There's I'm seeing I'm seeing Christopher Walken doing his Doom fight, and he just got hit by a Meteo and a fallen one. My goodness, that's
you
terrifying.
Ultima.
with Poltergeist.
Yeah, they're putting up an incredible effort. They
Oh, and
probably
there's
aren't going to
another
be too
Ultima.
happy like coming if we get them in the booth, but like I really commend them for continuing to give it a go, because it's like, I mean, we've had event flags that have shuffled statues where they are really hard fights, and so it's like, it's always great, even though it doesn't feel good in the moment. Like, a lot will be learned from navigating, and I have confidence they will eventually burst through. But yeah, Christopher and Leaf were in the tower ahead of you, but you know, again, like having that.
Oh, they were in
Obviously,
KT
you were.
before I was?
Oh yeah, you were more prepared, right? And I think that's like a little bit of being more of a veteran, having, you know, fought a lot of shuffled statues at like high scaling. You kind of know it's like, I can't mess around with these fights. Like, I need to give myself every advantage and really like prepare from the start of the seed. It's like, yes, I have to beat Kefka, but I have to get there, and that's gonna be probably the harder part when we have higher scaling and higher max scaling.
So there was another flag that was a little on the subtle side that that went in line with the ability scaling element. That is ability random element, and then the ability scaling. One of the subtle things was that I put it at 2.5. This allowed so the enemies start using stronger abilities as they start leveling up. With it being at 2.5, by the time the bosses finally reach level 50, they will max out on the abilities that they are using. So it's not like they were hitting it at like level 35, or I think it's like the early 40s or late 30s if I had it sitting on 2. So, but boosting it up that 0.5 made things scale up, you know, just perfectly with, you know, to end game.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging flag set, but it's not unfair. I can understand if our racers disagreed after this run, but I like that it kind of makes you think from the beginning of like, how am I gonna get past this pretty big obstacle at the end?
Yeah, there's definitely some you kind of have to think of some of the flags and how to tackle this seed outside of the box. Like I see Leaf, he got some Atma offering action going on there, and that is definitely a smart play. And it looks like he has Celeste and Realm with Peace Ring or Ribbon to keep Setzer healed up, which is totally a smart move. Because I saw Setzer now what 5k damage. So yeah, definitely a smart way to. Oh, and he's doing the Berserker jump strats as I did. So, like, awesome.
Yeah, they have some good stuff going on, and they went into the Coliseum like more towards the end of the seed.
Oh, as opposed to me where I did it right out of the gate.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I think it's a good decision like either way. So it's like, I don't know, my offense is very physical based. I might wait to go activate that auto berserk, but especially with that Magitech Celeste, is like, I'm probably good for a while before I really need berserker power. Oh no!
Oh, that is just awful.
That's tough. Another thing I called out was that
Sadness.
On tier 3, you did the run move to make sure that your berserkers, and I think that's like a subtle thing that's like key to have in the pocket if you're gonna run like the 3 berserker team. It's just knowing when you gotta like hold back
Oh,
I think it was on tier 4 because you were like holding back to make sure that they went into Goner charge before you let your berserkers loose again.
As long as you get the party running before the ATB bar fills up, they will not attack. That is how that works. So if you see me run into Final Kefka with the Yeti, you'll see me do the same thing.
I think we're gonna have a close finish here. Questifer finally navigated their statues. They behaved a little bit and didn't just spam the worst possible things.
So you will also be going on into Final Kefka, so he'll be right behind Leaf as we get into this.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna commend Leaf. Taking that tier 4 wipe can be rough. There's definitely been races that I've been on Restream where I've been like, no, that's enough.
Yep. Done. I'm calling it a night.
Now, we have
me.
a lot of power, so the climb is, faster. I think if it was like a Kefka climb where I like barely squeaked up to tier 4 and then got an ultimate counter, I'm much more likely to pack it in versus like, oh, Setzer's octa swinging. Oh, ouch. Ammo weapons.
Yeah, he's... Oh, danger. Oh, that is dangerous. He's risking, I think he's gonna have to deal with Quake.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was like, if I'm gonna go mostly Berserk or I have really like super strong offense, I'm looking for float for someone to learn that, just so that I can like hedge against the Quake. Because it's just like, yeah, we can get unlucky with where Setzer's deciding. Although I think that's the only one left now, so maybe he wouldn't just 8-hit. Yeah, okay. It's like that'd be wild for him to 8-hit short arm when Face was still alive.
Yeah, the Berserkers targeted the right ones. Yeah, my tier 1 was so fast. I'm like, what just happened? Like, I managed to get up Fenrir, to prevent my party from getting smacked around with the physical. But I was hoping I had like the float spell to, back up the party from, just in case the Berserkers get a little feisty and beat things out of order, which was not the case. And with how fast tier 1 went down, I was just like, oh boy, this is going to be a Final Kefka fight.
So yeah, while we kind of watch these two navigate the tiers, I will mention we are running this as a community race, this very flag set, Friday, June 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, other time zones. Let me know in chat and I'll go on the time zone converter and tell you what time that is. But if you had like one piece of advice to someone that was thinking about doing that race in terms of tackling this flag set, what would you tell the potential runners out there?
When in doubt, grind for levels. As always.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is very good.
All right, if you guys don't mind, because I need to get going. If you don't mind me plugging in a couple of final thoughts here, or
go for it.
Excellent. Anybody here in the SpeedGaming 2 chat and is interested in learning Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, please join us at our Discord, ff6worldscollide.com. There is a link to our Discord. We have a fantastic community. We're willing to teach you. We got a Moogle mentoring program to teach you how to play the game, learn the routing, some of the different strats that we use. Obviously, you saw some weird ones today. Also, please give our Restream team and our racers a follow. And, of course, GG's, and thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Thanks for
very
joining
good.
us. Tune back to the action. We got a real close,
Yup.
race for second here.
Yeah, both at tier 2, both doing considerable damage with different Oh. Well, not that close anymore.
I wonder what. I think I missed if we had just someone go down that was important in like the tier transition.
I don't know either. Huh.
We'll find out, perhaps. But moving on to tier 3 for Leaf, I think this will go pretty fast. I know Jex mentioned we have a couple of different options for like newer players that are looking to learn more. We have signups for both like a co-pilot and a live race or practice, as well as VOD reviews. Additionally, we recently concluded our new player mini tournament, the Moogle Cup, which means the signups are open for the next one. So that's another opportunity where new players get paired with a mentor that's really a co-pilot along the way for the entire tournament. They're in the passenger seat providing information and tips. And I think that in our first one, all of the Moogles really improved over the course of those 4 weeks. Another.
Yeah. Wipe
play.
off a tier 3. Ouch.
Was that a double medio?
It
To me like a double medio.
Sort of, yeah. So what happened is Setzer full swinged to rest, didn't kill girl, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's again is like the uncontrollable offense sometimes has heartbreaking consequences.
Yeah, he got a lot of calmness on him without the protection.
But again, recognition for getting right back in the saddle, going at it again. That was an unlucky break, and sometimes that happens, and so love to see running back in there. Some really showing off some spirit of General Leo tonight. Sometimes you just gotta have unyielding determination. But then, like I said, it's okay to also decide that's enough for tonight. This is supposed to be fun too, so I'm glad to see. Hopefully, both of our racers are still having a good time here.
Yeah, both runners are giving it their all to take on this final fight, and not backing down is a pretty big thing to do, especially with both Leaf and Christopher Workin having a lot of the issues they had with just the statues. So coming in here and doing final fight the same way is they're showing restraint from leaving. They're gonna finish this through the end. And both are now on tier 2. So it'll be very close with different strats. Christopher Workin has not done any of the Coliseum matches, whereas for Leaf, his Setzer and Cyan are auto berserk, which helps Setzer with his dual Atma. So this will be pretty interesting to see, where it goes for both of our runners here.
Yeah, I feel like Leaf has a little bit more damage output due to Berserk and kind of equipment, but it's a little bit riskier on our last 2 tiers.
Especially for tier 4, because if we've got countered with Ultima twice, that is something that just can just straight up just end the run.
Yeah, definitely. And on Questifer's side, they're probably both getting sick of N-Cross. There's been a lot of frozen party members going on. It will wear off, so that's the good news.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Setzer, unless they're wearing a Minerva, they probably can't take like a Fire 3 to thaw them out, so we might just have to wait that one out.
Can you unthaw with the Fire Beam?
The Magitech abilities can't be targeted on the party, I think is the problem. Except for heal. So it's gotta be like a fire spell, or I wonder if you, and I bet if someone in chat can tell me, if you hit with a Flame Saber, does that unthaw without a spell? I don't know. That would be the only thing I can think of.
I think Flame Saber does unthaw on attack. I'm pretty sure it does.
Alternatively, you can just, take Setzer out and then bring it back, which I think happened naturally.
Yeah. Because I think Fire Knuckles as well. If you get the fire off the attack, that will unthaw them.
Ooh, still very close here. Questifer is oh, we know their timer is a few seconds. They're a few seconds ahead. So I'm gonna call this a tie right now.
Yeah, they are both on to tier 3.
Alright, the good news is Setzer is not at full health right now, but so they shouldn't be able to do what they did last time. There we go. There we go. Okay. Girl is down. We are, and I think, are we in Meteor range on Leaf side? I don't know yet. I feel like we're close. Maybe not. This is where we could get double media though, because they haven't taken their turn yet. This might be a place to try to run buffer, but we might just never mind. They're just gonna get calmness.
Yeah, unless they have that Phoenix or Golem, which I think Christopher Workin picked up.
So Leaf has taken the lead with that Setzer power going the correct order.
Going straight up to tier 4, and hopefully we'll have a much better time on this one.
Because I think the problem is if Setzer takes a full turn first, it's not enough damage to kill Final Kefka, but it is enough damage to get to Ultima counter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're doing 8 swings at 5,100, which is just shy.
All that damage from Setzer.
Okay. We should be okay. Calmness. Questifer keeping their powerhouses intact coming up. Okay, that's
minus this one, yeah. And that should do it. And there it is. 2,
Let's get
6,
those GGs.
7. Get GGs in. Very good.
There was a lot of adversity, but
A lot of difficulties
were-
and challenges, but he made it through.
adjustments. There was better luck. And yeah, I think they did a great job of. And we're gonna get them in the booth. Hello, GG's. A hard-earned victory.
How many trips through Kefka's Tower?
I lost count after 7.
GG.
I mean, sometimes that's how it is. Like, these flags were carefully crafted to be challenging
Oh, I
in a
enjoyed the
way
challenge.
that kind of I feel like sneaks up at the end. Really, like we started to see the last couple dragons that people were taking out, and then certainly the statues just going ham on everybody.
You
think-
mean like the immediate fallen one, Doom?
Yeah,
That
fallen
immediate
ones.
goner Doom.
We saw a lot of Ultima out of Spicy Chicken, and you had a couple of bad breaks too with your Kefka Tower climb, with Setzer being like so powerful. The triple calmness and then that Ultima on tier 4 were both.
Shoutouts
That had to be
Setzer.
tough.
Shouts to Setzer for not killing Girl in the second attempt.
Boom. And
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
what caused that wipe on tier 3. Yeah.
One more set of GGs for Quastifer, who also persevered through. They were just getting bullied by Spicy Chicken. Like, they were always getting countered on their powerful character attacking. They were not getting Illumina procs. Leaf, you had Setzer with the Atma that just like, laser sorted Poltergeist. So it was definitely interesting. Like, everyone had their own areas of struggles. Like, Jax was very thorough in their opening to basically set up what they wanted to do for the rest of the game. And I was going to ask you if either of you have played the combination of shuffled statues, level 50 statues, and the random elements before.
Oh, the only flags I've played have been Moogle Cup. So,
Well, dang, that's a big step up in a lot of ways. These are definitely, these sort of flags require a little bit more like thinking from the beginning of like, how am I going to deal with these statues? And I think both of you did a great job of adjusting on the fly once it kind of became clear of like, what I got going on isn't like really working here anymore. So yeah, I don't know if either of you have any thoughts just on how it went overall, or now that you got one under your belt, what are you looking to do differently next time?
I'd like to shout out there being absolutely no characters except for Kefka, Narsh, and I believe Opera House had to have had somebody. Based on
Opera House had Mog.
Yep.
So, yeah, I hate Opera House, so I will last locate it 10 times out of 10. So.
Only reason I first located it is because of the Perform at Opera House event giving a free Illumina. It's the only reason.
I have
would
no
have
idea how to
avoided
do
it.
that, so why do I care?
Otherwise, I would have avoided it like the plague too.
I'd also like to shout out Sabin for landing at the absolute worst possible time in the first attempt.
Yeah, that one was a very unlucky land from Sabin on that one.
Because I had a Thunder Shield queued up, and it was going to win. Because I'd already done 55,000 damage by that point.
I just want to know who ordered the ghost pepper chicken. It's my only question.
Yeah, Quastifer, you had the roughest time with Poltergeist, which some of that just comes to like the luck of the draw when we decide what lanes people are going down.
Yeah.
I also thought that like you were rolling like low on the number of like aluminum procs that you were getting, and then also like high on the level of ridiculous counters, and like Spicy Chicken just had it out for Mog every time that they were up. It was like, nope, you're going back down. Like once they would go down.
Yeah,
so
it was just ridiculous how bad my luck was. Just ridiculous. And it was
Yeah, it was the roughest set of Poltergeist fights I had ever seen.
like
But
in any other scenario, I should have like maybe two-shot it. Like two-run at him. And I should have gotten in the second go-round, but he just did not want to die until I threw Salus at him and made him eat tech missiles and shove tech missiles down his throat.
So, shout out to Tech Missile.
Yeah, I saw. I'm just sitting here going, Salus with tech missile. There's the carry, and then Genji gloves with enhancers. That just jacks her magic up so high.
Genji Glove Enhancers, I had not thought of that.
Yep, Genji. I've seen the math. Genji Glove Enhancer plus earring adds more magic than double earring. Than double earring plus enhancer. So
So I did not get that Mog. So my 6th character ended up being the Setzer on Phantom Train.
Oh, there was a Setzer on Phantom Train?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mog.
And he could dual wield Atma weapons.
There was a second Atma weapon?
I found one on the. You could turn in Setzer's cards for an Atma weapon at the Coliseum.
I never touched Coliseum because I was like, Auto Berserk? No, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because you were the one that foregoed. Jax had 3 Berserk characters for most of the time. Leaf was rocking the 2, and the 2 casters, and then Questful, you were rocking no Berserks, which like there was a lot of power going on, so it's definitely understandable to be like, I don't need the Berserk, but
yeah, like one Berserker's okay, but like I had Celis so amped, I couldn't. I didn't want to screw with her.
I just handed her a peace ring and called it a day.
Yeah, and that would have worked, but that would have de-amped her a little bit. I mean, I was shooting quad 9 tech missiles at the end.
Okay, fair. I was shooting 9K, so I didn't de-amp too much.
Yeah. Also helps if I bring my mic boom down. Oops.
There was a bit of an echo, so. GG's quest for. Pleasure to get some revenge for Moogle Cup.
Yeah. If I hadn't spent probably at least half an hour on the statues, I think I could have given Jax a run for his money.
You should. I did 3 Kefka fights.
Yeah, there was a lot of. Here's what I will say. All right, like going into the tower, you 2 were ahead of Jax like significantly, right? And so like, it's really like he had the advantage of just the battle experience of fighting those bosses at really high levels, and so was much like it still had its own rough times, but just had the experience to really from the get-go be like, I gotta prepare. And so I would say for the 2 of you, like if there was any takeaway, it's like when the statues are there and we're hitting level 50, there's no such thing as having like too much power or too many levels. Up to that point, like I think you guys were like really doing a great job of like stepping on the gas and like hitting checks and smashing bosses. So like, yeah, I know the time gap looks big, but like y'all were in it up until the very end. So
it was just the end game being the end game of FF6.
Yeah, it was the statues being the statues. I didn't have, like, I took the one reset on Kefka because Celis got Doom Tusk, and I'm like, that's 90% of my damage. I'm just gonna reset real quick, because it was faster to reset because I didn't have, because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the spell remedy cures zombie.
Yeah, I feel like that's Revivifies or Remedy items.
Remedy,
items don't do it either.
remedy. I know remedy items don't do it. I know it has to be revivify, but I don't know if the remedy, if the spell remedy does it. But I didn't have any revivifies, so I'm like, that's a reset. Because
Yeah, the barter flags are interesting because like really powerful stuff is cheap, but then the really cheap stuff
Resources
that
are
we
expensive.
take for granted, like potions early, or like I saw a lot of tents instead of sleeping bags, right? Like,
Yep.
Because it's
I
like,
think I bought like 2 or 3 sleeping bags, and that was it. I didn't buy healing for squat, and I just plowed through everything. Because I was able to get my hands on early levels of magic power +2 and the Genjai glove double enhancer. That made Celis a goddess.
Speaking of Goddess, I appreciate finding Goddess, having sent somebody down there who physically attacks, immediately resetting and sending the girls over instead.
Yeah, I just sent Celis over with, and I just said, like, Celis carried me this scene. Period. End of discussion. She carried.
Magitech Celis is a absolute beast.
Magitech Realm is scarier, but I'll take Magitech Celis any day of the week.
Yeah, I'll take having Magitech Celis and a caster realm on hand.
Mm-hmm. Although I have to admit, Slot Realm came in handy during Force Field.
Yeah, my actual my ending result ended up being I got stuck with Doom not being able to party I sent, so I literally had to warp the party back out and send the 2 solo guys to go reactivate the buttons so I could send the entire party at Doom.
Yeah, Doom wasn't as big of a problem for me once I got the right party thrown at him. But I had to reset out after killing Goddess, and I sent Celis and Mog. Mog was carrying my Illumina. Celis and Mog up at Spicy Chicken, and I sent, like, Sabin was just a whatever, so I sent him solo up the aisle already killed, and the rest of the group up Doom. Funnily enough, offering Ragnarok Strago carried that fight, which is sad to say.
Yeah, GG's quest for. Thank you for the
Yep.
restream, everybody. A pleasure to actually get to debut on the Worlds Collide a little bit.
Yeah, GG's.
yeah, definitely you guys put a great effort out there. It was a close race, and it was really fun to watch and get to call. So appreciate y'all jumping in there, and especially with some like unfamiliar, not run of the mill flags.
I didn't look at the flags until Joker Mage posted the. It was either Joker Mage or Drinks Glue posted the overview of the settings in the race room.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just hadn't looked at them.
Same. So I'm like, ooh, race. Let's race. So
Restreamer here again. Hi, everyone. Speaking of these flags, these are going to be the same flags that we're going to be running next week, next Friday, June 14th, on the RPG Limit Break channel. So if you want to see, maybe these guys will come back for that Friday race, but we might also be seeing some other people. It sounds like it's going to be a community race, but feel free to come and watch it there. And we got some other stuff going on as well going forward. But if you enjoyed these flags, and if either of our races want to try these flags again, Next week on Friday, June 14th, is where to do it.
Yeah, definitely. We got like the preset, I think, so like anyone can roll like those flags and do a practice. And I know there's some Worlds Collide action in upcoming marathons. Yeah, we'll be seeing Questifer in an overnight relay race that I've put together. 3 different randos: Career Day, Jets of Time, Worlds Collide, finishing out the end. And in addition, I think we got a crew also doing a run during FF1R. So over on their channel coming up. Let me look at my notes here.
It's going to be Sunday, June 16th for both those events, I think.
Yes. As well as we'll also be in the SNES Superstars Marathon. That's going to be on June 20th that one's like a noon 15 Eastern start time. So over the lunch break, potentially. Got a crew running some flags there as well.
And both of our runners mentioned Moogle Cup, I believe. And if you are interested in getting started on Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, we are still doing signups for Moogle Cup for the next batch of Moogles that want to sort of get practice in with mentors, experienced racers, and get to try racing against other people who are also going to be relatively new to the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw 2 of our runners today from our very first one, duking it out again. It's kind of nice because when it's a pretty small pool we run for those, and it's kind of like running enrollment whenever we have a full bracket and enough mentors, then we run it. But you get to kind of form those little like bonds with like other players that are learning at the same time, and those friendly like rivalries that kind of form. It's pretty fun, and I really enjoy being a mentor. And so yeah, I'm like waiting for enough Moogles to sign up so we can run it back.
Yep. All right, well, I think it's about dinner time for us, so I'm gonna bounce. But thank you for the race, thank you for the restream, all that happy fun stuff.
Yeah, I think we can shut down the airship and close it down for the night. I'm one free fizz. I don't really have any final thoughts. I feel like we got all our plugs in. Eric, the Swift, my co-commentator. Any final thoughts from you?
No, just that it's weird. Before we started this race, I had ordered a 5 million Scoville chicken sandwich, and I don't know where it went. So I'm gonna have to find that and
If anyone's seen a
see what
missing
happened with that.
hot chicken sandwich, let us know.
Yeah, it's got wump spices on it, so that's something I was looking forward to.
Boo!
Yeah, no, I don't really have anything to add too much to. So just looking forward to the upcoming events. I may even rethrow my hat in the Moogle Cup, see how I go from there. So if anyone's interested, I may be in there as well. So
I think by the rule set, I graduated out of the Moogle Cup by making it out of group stages.
I unfortunately did not.
Our hearts were all Moogles because we all have more that we can learn and improve.
True.
Playing this game.
True that. All right, I'm out. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, Joe,
Yeah,
if you want to take us out.
Night.
Oh, just everyone, thanks for coming. We actually do have to head out soon. I think we're only supposed to be here for 3 hours, so but it was good. I thought it was a great run, and you saw like both of our recent Moogle Cup graduates are you know, didn't, back down even though they were challenged. So, I thought that was really great. In any case, we will be back here next week, next Wednesday, same time. I will not be because my house is getting fumigated, insulated. I'm not sure. They told me I couldn't be here overnight, otherwise I might get toxins. So I won't be able to help out next week. But I think we've got a plan in place. So there will still be Worlds Collide. And then, like I said, there's going to be a bunch of events coming up. And the best place, if you want to learn about any of this, any of the events, get some practice, ask some questions, join the Moogle Cup, is to go to our Discord. And so I guess with that, we're going to go ahead and head out. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Racers. Thanks to the comms team. And thanks, Chrono, for tracking. I know something happened and you had to bow out towards the middle there. So hopefully everything's well on your end. But in any case, once again, thanks for coming and have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.